Witch of Jasmine, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a reading for Aries moons. How you doing, Aries moons? I hope you're doing well. Oh. So as I'm shuffling out these cards, I invite you to take some deep breaths, to calm yourself, ground yourself, center yourself. Say hello to my executive producer, Cheralyn, my cat. I've been sitting in here getting all my stuff ready for a good 10 minutes. And the second I start filming is when she's like, can you let me out? Can you please get up? Thanks. She's scratching at the door. That's what that noise is. I feel like there's a lot of cards that are wanting to come out with this reading, so I'll leave it there. Cheralyn. Oh my gosh, I just opened the door to let her out, and my other cat, Andy, was sitting on the other side of it, so that's why she wanted to leave. That's so funny. Okay, anyway, Aries moons. Let's take a look at your cards. For the Oracle card, we have Divination, with the fire element, and Scorpio with chives. All right, and then your tarot cards, we have Temperance, Queen of Cups, Nine of Wands reversed, Ace of Chalices reversed, aka Ace of Cups reversed, oh, Queen of Chalices reversed, aka Queen of Cups reversed, and Nine of Chalices reversed, aka Nine of Cups reversed. Interesting. All right, and then we will turn over this card whenever I feel like it's time to turn it over. So I want to start with this Oracle card, which, if you're new to my readings, the Oracle card tells us the overall message, the main theme. Like, if you're going to take anything away from this reading, it should be what the Oracle card says. And in this case, with the Divination card, it's a very simple but very powerful card. And it is a reminder that you are in charge of your own destiny, right? Yes, life happens. Things happen. Not everything is in your control. But you also have to remember that you are in control of so much more than you think. Everybody, I think, most of us, I think, don't realize how much power we have and how much we do actively have control over. And when this card pops up, you know, especially with this fire energy here, right? This, that very creative and inspiring and fiery energy, right? It's a reminder to you that you need to step into that power and, in the nicest way possible, like, wake up. You know what I mean? That's what that card is saying. So And I say that because a lot of what we have going on here feels like a lot of overthinking. And I'll get into the details in just a second, but it feels like a lot of, well, I feel this way, but I also feel this way, but I also feel this way, but I also feel this way. Like very that, right? And I'm going to explain all this, but the main thing that I want you to just keep in mind while I'm talking about all of this is this Temperance card, which is about balance. It's about learning how to, I think in this case, also quiet your mind and remembering to stay calm and realistic and grounded, but also understanding that sometimes you have to just let things be, right? That's the balance of it. Sometimes there's things that need to be very carefully thought out and very carefully analyzed and looked at from all perspectives and make sure you're doing the right thing. And sometimes it's honestly just best to let things play out how they're going to play out, you know? Or say, you know what? It's going to be what it's going to be, you know? And finding that boundary. So anyway, what do I think is going on? We've got the Queen of Cups above Queen of Cups reversed. I think, to me, this just screams like way too much self-analysis and self-awareness, I guess. Oh, hi, Halen. Everyone say hello to Halen. And just overthinking way too much about how you feel and your own emotions, right? And because we have both sides of her, right? I mean, Queen of Cups upright is somebody who is a master of her emotion. She's very good at balancing, you know, how she's feeling with how she's reacting versus, and how she's thinking, all of those things. Thinking logically, I mean. But remember that key word is balance, right? There also is a line between just overthinking way too much. Like a analysis paralysis type situation. I think that's what's coming across here. You know, it's funny because I was just thinking about this concept this morning and I just took a minute to really like consider if this is something that's actually useful to this. But I think it is. Because I was thinking about how with like science, which fun fact about me, I've never really been good with science. I have so much like love and respect for people who like understand that stuff. I just really have a hard time with it. So, but I love hearing people talk about it, right? Like super smart people talking, you know, passionately about these things that they're like super interested in, spend their life working on. And one thing that I've noticed with people like that, and not just specifically science, I'm just using it as an example, is that, you know, especially when you're like young and in school, when you're taught science, it's very to the point, right? It's like, oh, these are how clouds work. This is how, you know, what plants need in order to survive. And this is what the air is made up of, and all this kind of stuff, right? And then it's not until you get to those, you know, like out of college, been studying this stuff for years and years, where you get to this point where like even these experts are like, yeah, as much as we do know a lot of things about the world, we actually don't know a lot, you know? And it kind of then turns into more like theoretical discussions, right? And a little less of, you know, just looking at something and immediately understanding it or working with those concrete things, right? At some point, I mean, that's when you get into the questions of like, how is the universe made? And like, where does life come from? Or like those crazy things, right? So I'm trying not to go on a tangent, but what I'm getting at is I think that happens a lot with lots of fields of study, right? Like I was thinking about it with linguistics, right? where, in school you're taught that, this word means this, and this is the correct grammar, and blah, 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 all these rules, right? But then once you are in college and out of college and are an expert in these things and are really super smart about these things, the more it's well, yes, those things exist, but also sometimes we just observe this, and sometimes people do this and we don't really know why, and sometimes language changes like this or that. So what I'm getting at for the third time is it's the same with emotions and the same with understanding yourself and understanding your triggers and understanding if you have any trauma or all of those kinds of things, right? There's a line between these are the concrete facts and this is what I need to do versus things that are a little more theoretical and abstract and getting into the what ifs, right? And that's what it's making me think of when I see these, right? Is that you may be crossing the line from okay, so this is the situation, this is how I feel, these are the emotions I'm feeling, let me figure out what it is I need to do in order to move forward. And kind of just instead being stuck in this place of, well, it could be this, or it could be that, or if I do this, then this might happen, but if I do this, then that may happen, but if I do that, then this, or that could happen. And just kind of getting really stuck in that more abstract and theoretical and, the what ifs, that stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that at all, necessarily, unless it is impacting your day-to-day life, right? Unless it's preventing you from being able to take the steps that you need to take, right? Because you're so focused on all of these things that could happen. And again, it's the too much self-awareness. I don't want to phrase it like that, but the overthinking. And it gets to a point where it's too much. I hope that all makes sense. So let's talk about the ways that I think it's impacting you negatively, right? So for one thing with this Nine of Cups reversed is about putting on a front or putting on a show of, no, that's Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Cups reversed is about overindulgence and selfishness, which I don't think is your intention with all of this. Do you see? That's Cheralyn right here. She's poking her little nose up. Right? In this attempt to analyze all of this stuff and make sure that you're doing the best thing for yourself, it kind of crosses that boundary and becomes more of it ends up becoming what you are trying to avoid, right? Selfishness, self-centeredness, and overindulgence and all of that kind of stuff. And it might not even be what's happening right now. This might be more of what this can cause and what you need to be careful of with all of this. But regardless, same with Nine of Wands reversed. With Nine of Wands reversed, it's more specifically referring to being towards the end of something, being so close to achieving your goals. But getting to that last stretch and being oh, I don't know if I can do it, because you're just so tired and oh shoot, that just went out. It's okay, we're almost at the end. Being so tired and so exhausted from your whole journey that right when you're getting towards the end, you're I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can finish it up, right? It's the overthinking. It's the worrying about things that honestly, it's not benefiting you to worry about, or it's kind of, what's that saying? It's going so far in one direction that you've kind of turned around and now you're at the other direction on the other side. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. That. And most importantly, we have this Ace of Cups here reversed, which tells me that you're missing out on a lot of joy, a lot of happiness, because you're so focused on these other things and all of this stuff that's just not really, it's gotten to a point where it's not really benefiting you. So anyway, I forgot about this other card. We gotta turn it over. Oh, okay. Lord of Shadows, aka Death. A very famous card. It represents transformation and rebirth. Well, I mean, that just tells me that this is a very important, really important lesson for you to learn. I think it'll be very game-changing for you when you can learn how to find this peace, right? Of just kind of letting things be, letting things play out, right? Of course, in a balanced way. Yeah, I think that'll be really, really game-changing for sure. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking because I feel like this got really, really dense. I'm just like, I feel like now I'm over-explaining. But hopefully you understand. Hopefully I was able to communicate effectively what I'm trying to say. But if you have any questions about this, or if you'd like any part of this clarified, please let me know. You can leave a comment, or you can just reach out to me, whichever you prefer. If you're particularly drawn to any of these cards, or would like a little more information about any of them, on the shorts part of my channel, I have well over 200 little shorts that really go into detail about each of the cards. The symbolism in them, their upright meaning, as well as their reverse meaning. So if you'd like any more information about that, I highly recommend you go check that little spot out. So Aries moons, I'm wishing you lots of luck and lots of strength with this. Make sure you keep taking care of yourself for sure. But you're on a good path for sure. I believe in you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye!